You should meditate. I'm sure you've heard that more than once in your pursuit of personal development and self-love and self-care. But I'm here today to tell you why meditation is so widely suggested for just living a more happy, more mindful life. What's up YouTube? I'm Marissa Roxas. I'm a filmmaker from San Diego, California. I make videos about my experiences as a Filipino queer female living her life in her 20s. In the month of October, I've committed to making a video every other day as part of something I'm calling Self-Love Vlogtober, where I introduce a self-love or self-care practice that you can build into your everyday to just be a happier, healthier person. So today, you guessed it, we're talking about meditation. And I think there's a lot of misconceptions when it comes to meditation. I think when people think of meditation, they just think of someone sitting in a room on a little pillow and holding their hands up like so and just sitting in silence for hours on end. I'm here to tell you that that's not particularly true. I feel like that's a form of it, and that's what's kind of been ingrained in our minds. But I think meditation is simply just taking a moment or a couple moments to just ground yourself and bring yourself into the present moment, which is, I'm sure you can agree with me, a very hard thing to do in this crazy, oversaturated world that we live in. When it comes to meditation, at least in my personal life, how I've practiced it, I'm not saying I'm like a meditation expert. I mean, I'm not a monk by any means, but I've found that I personally love to do guided meditations. I use the app Insight Timer. So on that app, it has a bunch of free guided meditations where a person with a very common voice will kind of just walk you through a practice. It also just has a timer, so you can just set it, and then for 10 minutes, an hour if you're into that, you just sit and you breathe. So I just wanted to focus on more of like the breathing aspect of meditation. Again, I'm not like an expert. I kind of just know, like, in doing meditation, it has helped me just become more mindful, and on the days where I do sit down and actually take time to meditate, it brings like better focus in my day-to-day. But for those of you who maybe have never really tried meditation or are just kind of like, does that really work? I just want to give you maybe a simpler way to get into it and like try it. So yeah, the first way is like download an app. There's so many apps nowadays that have guided meditations, and I think when you're new to something, to have someone kind of walk you through the process is always helpful, because otherwise it's like, how am I supposed to do this? What's the point of this? Is this even doing anything for me? So as I said, I use Insight Timer. There's Calm, I believe, is a popular one. Headspace. There's so many. Just go to the App Store. I'm sure you'll find one that you like. And they're usually free, or at least the first few meditations are free. But going back to an easy way to start bringing meditation, or at least meditative aspects in your life, it really just comes down to breathing. So just taking a breath. So I'm not saying, again, if this is not something that you believe in, or you're like hesitant about it, meditation is really just comes down to like breathing and bringing yourself back into the present moment. So how you can build it into your day-to-day. I honestly have found myself recently just like taking really big breaths even while I'm like sitting at my desk at work. So I'll just go and maybe sometimes too loud for my coworkers' liking. I probably sound really weird, but it just helps me to kind of just like, whoa, let me take myself back into what I'm doing at the present moment. I'll bring this up again. I'm currently in a healing / readjustment period in my life. So I've been going through some things that have been tough and kind of just finding a new normal in my day-to-day. And there are a lot of things that I'm still healing from. There's a lot of things I'm still like, things that I'm fighting with within my brain, within my mind. And sometimes like I find myself, I'm in the middle of doing work and I'm like thinking thoughts that I really shouldn't be thinking, or my mind goes to places it really shouldn't go, and that's when I have to breathe. I have to breathe it out, exhale it out, and it may not get rid of the thoughts entirely, but at least breaks the pattern of going into that dark place in my mind where I shouldn't be. So that's what meditation is just like, I think 1, it breaks the pattern of maybe negative thoughts, and 2, when you get really good at it, it helps you just be the observer of your thoughts, because you are not your thoughts. Especially those scary ones, those negative ones, those ones that tell you you're not good enough or that you're a failure, like those are not you. And I know I can tell you that, but as soon as you realize that like the human brain is like wired very, it's very complex, but also the human brain is like, not that it's stupid, but it's wiring sometimes it's just like not beneficial for us, for our well-being. And I'm sure every human being could agree with me when I say that your mind gets you in the most trouble, because it's like you think all these dumb thoughts about yourself, these harmful thoughts about yourself, and it's so hard to kind of be like, what's the truth? But I think in your heart, and when you center yourself, like you are good enough, you're not crazy, it's okay if you feel down. I'm losing my train of thought. See, human brain is like not wired perfectly at all in any means. So just going back what I was saying, like even if you're not gonna sit down for 10 minutes of the day to meditate, whether it's a guided meditation or just breathe for 10 minutes, even just taking 5 seconds, 10 seconds to just breathe and bring yourself back to what you're doing. Breathe and take yourself back. And again, it's a practice, like with anything, with working out. Like some days you just like have the best workout in the world and you hit all the sets that you want to do, you run all the miles you want to run, and some days you just kind of like don't feel it and you don't hit all the things that you want to hit. Same thing with meditation. Sometimes you'll sit down for 10 minutes or so, and I'll let you know, like I never really meditate for more than 10 minutes because like even that is like too much for me, or like I can't sit still for that long. But I'll have a session, and whether it's guided or I'm just breathing, and I'll just like afterwards I feel so refreshed, I feel more in the moment, I feel more focused. And there's other times where like I can't shut my brain up, and it's just like not that it makes it worse, but it's just like I can't, and it's okay. Like it's just the act of trying to get out of those thought patterns, or even just again take a step back and realize that I am not my thoughts. To battle with your mind is something that I think everyone goes through every single day, but knowing how to manage that better is obviously going to benefit you in your day-to-day, and whether you're going through a tough time or even if you're just going through your day-to-day, having some sense and having the ability to ground yourself and realize like, yeah, I'm going into a negative thought pattern, or my mind is taking me somewhere that I really don't need to go. It's not helpful. It's more harmful than it's helpful. Is a skill that's definitely worth practicing. And again, meditation is probably the biggest tool for you to get to that point. Apologize if this explanation of meditation is like all over the place, but that's kind of what I've found so far. So again, if you've taken anything away from this, I would just like encourage you today, if you find yourself having a hard time to focus, thinking negative thoughts, or you just feel like you're stuck in your brain, just take a breath, take a couple breaths, and know that you're okay, you're not your thoughts, and you're gonna get through this. Once again, I'm Marissa Roxas. I'm a filmmaker from San Diego, California. Thank you for joining me along on Self-Love Vlogtober. I will see you not tomorrow, but the next day. And yeah, I'll see you then.